Welcome back to the Crypto World channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to read charts. So I'm going to be going through some of the techniques and some of the chart patterns that I look for when reading charts and how this can actually make you money when you're trading things like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. If you want to look at a chart like this and find out where it will be going next so you can make money from that chart, then make sure to watch to the end of this video to get all of the valuable information out of the video. And also make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you enjoy these type of videos. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So right here, we have the Bitcoin price. And obviously recently Bitcoin had a huge run up to 34,800 before pulling back down to as low as 27,800. So this retracement that Bitcoin had from top to bottom is a 20% retracement. Now this could be as low as Bitcoin goes in this pullback, but in my opinion, from what I see in the charts, Bitcoin could probably go lower than what it's recently gone to. So let's just take a sec to zoom out. Let's go to the weekly chart, and obviously you can see the insane run up that Bitcoin's had over the past few months. And now to see Bitcoin's price history, let's go to the log chart so it's easier to see the prices back here. And if you look carefully along the entire 2016 and 2017 bull run, there's actually quite a few retracements along the way. And these retracements aren't just little 10% retracements either. Like this one is 35%, this one is 37%, this one is nearly 40%, this one is, like 41%. So yeah, there's some pretty big retracements that happened back then. And right now we're only sitting on a 20% retracement. So there is more room to the downside. Don't just think this is the bottom and we're ready to go higher, but at the same time, this very well could be. But I'm actually going to show you why I think Bitcoin could go a little bit lower than the recent 28,000 low. If you look back here in 2017, during the big bull market, it had these retracements, as I just mentioned. And if you look, pretty much all of these retracements started off with one of these weekly candles that had a small little candle body and it closed red with a big wick to the downside. So if I zoom in some more, this one was like this, where it was like a small little candle body and a big wick to the downside and it closed red. This one was the same. Small candle body at the top, big wick to the downside, it closed red. This one, very similar. Big wick to the downside and it closed red. This is on the weekly chart. And if you have a look right now, we're forming a very similar pattern right now. We've had a huge run up like we did back in 2017 in each of these big run ups. And now we're forming that same candle pattern. We're forming a weekly candle that is currently red. There's still 5 days left in the week, so anything can happen. But as of right now, the weekly candle is red and there's a big wick to the downside, which is showing similarities between right now and back during these pullbacks. And during these pullbacks, it started off with this weekly candle and it still had another 2 to 4 weeks of retracement before it started to head higher. So judging on that alone, we're due for a bit more of a retracement than we've already had. And once again, we've already had a 20% retracement. So let's say we had a 30 to 40% retracement like we saw the other times, then that would take us down to a price between 24,000 and as low as around 20,000. But I honestly think that we will most likely never go below 20,000 US dollars per Bitcoin ever again. So this is just my personal opinion. This is what I'm going to be doing. But if we get to the low 20,000s, like around 22, 23,000, somewhere around there, I'm going to be buying some more Bitcoin myself. I don't know about you. This is not financial advice. You make your own decision, but that's what I'm doing. But yeah, anyway, that's just the candle patterns that I've shown you. Let me show you some more reasons why Bitcoin could possibly head a little bit lower. One obvious reason is the fact that we've gone so high so fast. In fact, from the March low in March 2020 to the recent top here, in less than 300 days, we've pumped over 830% without a single pullback. Like that is insane. That is insane. That is honestly crazier than the 2017 days, guys. So just for that reason alone, you should be expecting at least a little pullback before we head higher. Nothing goes just straight up. So while I would love to be super bullish because obviously I hold Bitcoin, I have to be realistic and let you guys know the facts when I see them. Also, right now on the bigger time frames, especially the RSI, which is the relative strength index, is showing extreme overbought areas, which means we're very due for a correction. So back here when we saw overbought areas in the RSI, we had a big correction. Back here, each of these huge overbought areas that we entered, we had a correction along the way. It doesn't mean we can't head higher, because each of these corrections, even though we had a 30%, 40% correction along the way, we continued to head higher each time after the correction was finished. So I'm not just being all doom and gloom. I'm just letting you know that we could see lower prices, and hey, if you've got some cash on the sidelines, there could be a buying opportunity for you very soon. But yeah, if you look back here, the RSI was at around 87 before we had a 30% correction. Here, the RSI was only about 80 before we had a 35% correction. Here, the RSI was extremely overbought. It was nearly 90, and that gave us a 40% correction. Back here, the RSI wasn't too bad. It was only 80, and that gave us another 40% correction still. And right now, the RSI is 93 on the weekly chart, guys. So on the RSI, we're reaching overbought levels that weren't even seen in the 2017 bull run, at least on the weekly chart. Now, I also want to mention that I do not in any way think this is the top. I think this is a local top before a bit more of a retracement. But I honestly think that we're going to go a lot higher than this in 2021. One of the signs to show that this isn't the top is the volume. Usually whenever we reach a major peak or a major bottom, we see huge amounts of volume come in. So if you look back here at the 2017 top, we hit huge volumes, all-time high levels of volume. Back here in the 2008 bear market bottom, we hit a huge volume spike out of nowhere. Back here when we topped out, huge volume spike. Back here during March 2020, when we bottomed out, we hit a huge volume spike. And right now, as you can see, volume levels are actually pretty low. So there's currently no sign that's telling us that this is the top. Obviously, I think Bitcoin's going a lot higher in 2021, as I just mentioned. But I'm just making you aware of a few bearish signs that I'm seeing in the charts so that you're aware and that you're more importantly prepared for a pullback. So especially if you're in a leveraged trade, I would recommend lowering the leverage at times like this, because obviously the crypto market right now is extremely volatile. And one last thing to show why I'm thinking Bitcoin's due for a bit of a bigger pullback is the moving averages. Once again, if you look in the last big bull run in 2017, the price generally retraced back to its moving averages and bounced off it to continue to head higher next time. So right now, the moving averages that I've got on the chart is the 200-day moving average and the 21-week EMA. Now, if you look along the 2017 bull run, every time Bitcoin reached these huge overbought areas on the RSI, it retraced back to this blue line, which is the 21-week EMA, and it got a bounce off the line and continued to head higher. This did it multiple times, as you can see, drawing out on the chart right now. Bounced off it, continued higher, bounced off it, continued higher, bounced off it, continued higher. And this worked out very well 2017. And Bitcoin even did this back in 2020, just last year. If you look here, once it broke back above these lines, it bounced off it here, continued higher, bounced off it here, continued higher. And if you look how high we've gone on this run without another bounce off this blue line, it's incredible. So we're obviously more than due for another pullback to this blue line. And by the time Bitcoin pulls back to this blue line, the 21-week EMA, it might take, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks to come back down. This 21-week EMA will kind of come in to around the $20,000 level or the low $20,000 levels. And after that, I strongly think that Bitcoin will get a bounce off the 21-week EMA to continue to head to new all-time highs. And now going down into the daily, just zooming in a little bit, we have already got a bearish daily close. Now it is actually a good sign to see on the daily a big wick to the downside, which shows there's a lot of buying pressure for Bitcoin at the moment. So we might not necessarily see a big 40% retracement, but I honestly think another 10% lower than what we've already gone is in the realm of possibilities, which once again, that brings us down to around the $24,000 level. Now pulling up the Fibonacci retracement from this low that we had back at around 10,000 up to the recent high at around 35,000. The 61.8% Fibonacci level, or the golden pocket, is sitting at just under 20,000 US dollars. And conveniently, this is right where the 21-week EMA is sitting at right now, and it's also where the last big amount of volume was traded at. The $20,000 level is going to be huge support for Bitcoin. It's also a Fibonacci level. It's also where the moving averages are, and it would also be the same percentage retracement as what we saw back in 2017 multiple multiple times. So once again, in my opinion, I think it actually is kind of likely that Bitcoin will be heading down to the low $20,000 levels. I'm not saying it's 100% certain, obviously. No one knows truly what's going to happen next, but I'm just saying that it is kind of likely. And what I will be doing is if Bitcoin does head below around 24,000, that's going to be my buy area to pick up some more Bitcoin. Now heading over to the Ethereum chart, we're on the Ethereum USD chart on the daily. And at the moment, Ethereum looks to be in a very strong uptrend. It's not gone too crazy like Bitcoin as of right now. Obviously, it's been doing insane, but it's not looking quite as vertical, that's all. Over on the weekly chart, it is in the overbought area by quite a bit, but not in levels that we haven't seen before. Obviously, back in 2017, we saw huge overbought areas of 98 on the RSI. And right now we're sitting just at about 90, which is just under where Bitcoin is at around 93. But once again, if Bitcoin has a big pullback, it usually brings down most of crypto with it. So Ethereum could see a bit of a pullback as well. But the $1,000 level seems like really strong support from Ethereum, considering the amount of volume that came through to break that level. It's also a massive psychological level for Ethereum. So I feel like that could be pretty well supported. But once again, if Bitcoin has like a big 30% correction, then Ethereum's probably going to do kind of the same as what Bitcoin's going to do. But yeah, if you want me to include more Ethereum analysis and also some altcoin analysis of other coins, then let me know in the comments down below and I'll be sure to include that in future videos. And obviously, as you can tell, I enjoy looking at the bigger time frames more importantly rather than the smaller time frames, because if you're looking at like the 1 minute chart every day, for example, chances are you're going to be overrun with emotions by seeing these huge drops on the 1 minute chart, but they're only really like 1% drops in real life. If you zoom out and look on the daily, on the weekly charts, then these huge drops don't look that big in the grand scheme of things. So I just want to help give some perspective and awareness to everyone that's watching this video and kind of share my plan of action of what I'm thinking of doing next. But yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn on notifications. Please make sure to let me know in the comments down below as well if you enjoy technical analysis videos, because I'll be sure to include more videos like this, like TA and price predictions and all of that if you enjoy these type of videos. So yeah, once again, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be answering every single comment on this video. But yeah, anyway, that's just about everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed and I'll see you all in the next video.